Thank you everyone for joining today. This session is going to be focusing on the LifeQI platform and coaching and supporting projects within LifeQI. As ever, please do post any questions that you have either in the chat and the Q&A, and I have my colleagues Lewis and Kerry that are here to support us with any questions that do come in. I will take some natural pauses as well throughout the session, so please do ask the questions and I will ask the team at certain points if I can answer them straight away. So we'd like this to be as interactive as possible, so please do get involved. Okay, first things first, what I'm just going to navigate to is on our Help Centre, we have a fantastic training guide, which is all about being a LifeQI guru and is going to form the structure of the presentation that I'm going to give today, a bit of a training guide about how to coach and support projects within the LifeQI system. Kicking things off is using techniques to introduce LifeQI to your colleagues. So for those that are on the call, hopefully you've already got a LifeQI account, and it's going to be really helpful for you to understand how you are using LifeQI across your organisation or your collaborative. So there's two ways really for using the platform at the moment. There's project-based adoption of LifeQI. So staff and your colleagues introduced to LifeQI as they start a new quality improvement project. So you're really kind of involved through the early stages of quality improvement within your organisation and utilising the LifeQI platform to provide you with that single space to run and share your quality improvement work. Another great way to introduce LifeQI to your colleagues and support them with their use of the platform is the training-based adoption of LifeQI. And this is where staff can be introduced to LifeQI as they participate in one of your QI quality improvement training programs. So a good example of this is a number of organisations will start to teach quality improvement methodologies and then also use LifeQI alongside that to support their training and their teaching. So it could be as part of your training sessions, you start to run through the LifeQI system, and then as a result of their training, they are then asked to go and run a quality improvement project within the platform. So introducing LifeQI at that early stages is particularly helpful because it means that they become more familiar with the platform and it allows them to get up and get running on the system a bit quicker. It is helpful to be clear on which approach you will use and also what combination of these approaches, as this will impact the speed and the uptake and the demand placed on the coaches yourselves within the organisation. Couple of other things just before I jump into the system itself is understanding how to support and coach a quality improvement within the system. So I'm going to jump into LifeQI now. So as you all know, many of you that are on the call, LifeQI follows the IHI model for improvement, and these tools are integrated throughout the whole platform. We have a fantastic Getting Started webinar that will take you through the initial project setup stages, so please do log up to our next one of those if you haven't already done so. I am already in a project now that has been created, and I've done that purposely so that I can show you how to support and coach and just be aware of some areas to focus on when you are supporting your colleagues with their use of LifeQI. So you can see firsthand from this project general page, this project is quite far along within its life cycle. First off, you can see that from the score here. For those that don't know, the LifeQI platform is based on the IHI 10-point project progress or scale. Every project will score at a 0.5 to begin with the aim to obviously move further up the scale as the project progresses through the life cycle of the quality improvement project. It's really important to know, especially as a kind of a coach or a sponsor within your organisation or your collaborative, that these scores are a manual change and it will require the project team to keep these scores up to date. All you need to do is come in and make sure that the project is a true reflection of a description of the score itself. As I say, this is a manual task, but it's also particularly good practice for the teams to come in and make sure that their score is a true reflection of the project work that's happening underneath the score. These scores are also even so important because they will pull through to pretty much all of the analytics dashboards that we have within the platform. And that will give you a fantastic overview of kind of the success and spread of quality improvement across the organisation or the collaborative. So please do come in and make sure that these scores are a true reflection. We have a wealth of information on our Help Centre and also a blog around the IHI project progress scores as well. So please do check those out for some more information. But again, as a coach or a sponsor and supporting people with their quality improvement work, you can see firsthand from this glance bar here, the score is really, really important to understand where that project is within its life cycle. To encourage whole team participation, you can obviously build out your project team in line with that. So it may be that your project team is just one or two colleagues. That's absolutely fine. But it may also be that you have quite a large project team. So this particular project has got quite a large project team here. Having a large project team is fantastic to really have that opportunity to share and collaborate with the work. So there's a lot more people involved and kind of growth in numbers in the team as well. Another aspect that you can start to have that collaboration aspect within the project is a discussion area. So on each project page, you will have the ability to have a discussion thread with your project team. And again, this is particularly helpful. So it allows you to have your project level social space all within your quality improvement project within LifeQI. This is a fantastic way to keep your discussions focused on your quality improvement project, but also allows you to have that innovative space to share ideas or updates around the quality improvement project that you are working on. To create a new discussion thread with your project team, just come over to the discussion area here, and you can see that you can start a new discussion thread, and you can invite your project team to, or particular members even, to that discussion thread. One discussion thread that will be on your project by default is the project notice board. And if I click on this one here, you will see the audit trail of the project notice board. So again, particularly helpful when you are supporting your colleagues with their quality improvement project, that you can add status updates here. The project notice board pulls through automatically from the project megaphone that you can see on the right-hand side of the project here. So if I open the project megaphone up, you will see that this is the discussion thread on the project. So you have a really, really great idea of everyone that's posting, when did they post, and what's their message. And you also have the ability to attach a file to this discussion thread as well. So if you are working as a coach or a sponsor for this particular project and you want to have this communication within the project itself, would highly recommend to contact your whole project team in one go, that you use the project notice board section here. All you do is you write in your message and then click on notify project team, and that will send an email alert to everyone that's on the project that you've posted an update. And when they come in, they'll be guided straight through to that project notice board as well. If I just come back to the project general page, just reflecting back on this glance bar here. So we've had a quick talk through the IHI project progress score and how to encourage team collaboration. You can also see from the glance bar how far advanced they are with the driver diagram, how many measures and charts they have on the project, and how many PDSA ramps and cycles that they have. So it gives you a great overview of the progress of the particular project. Every project is structured the same, so you will very easily be able to identify a project that's in its infancy compared to a project that's much more mature just by looking at the project glance bar. So please do take a look next time you log in. A couple of other things I wanted to talk you through is the timeline feature, which is particularly helpful again for supporting and coaching projects. It allows you to understand the activity that's happening within the project itself. So it gives you a great audit trail of everything that's been happening. So I can scroll right back to when the project first was initiated. So you can see here there's 90 updates on this particular project. You can see when a score has been updated, when a status has been updated, when a measure has been added, or when PDSAs have been added as well. So on behalf of being a coach, it allows you to track the activity, or maybe perhaps the inactivity of that particular project as well, which will allow you to guide support where it is needed. Also will allow you to share successes as well. So if this project is demonstrating significant improvement, you can also have the ability to understand how they've got to where they are now, and then look to spread and scale this particular quality improvement project. Other things that you can do on the project timeline is you can add to the project timeline. So if I click on this button here, I can add a type of event, and you can see these from the drop down. So I'm going to add in a status update. And for this particular project, we had a team huddle this morning, and I can create that event. So it again allows you to track what's happening within that particular project. You can also view the project timeline on a calendar view. So you can see month on month how that particular project is progressing with the team. And again, allows you to target support as and where you need to understand if they do need any further help, if they've come across any blocks that they could do with your support with. Just allows you to really understand the activity month on month. It will also show you who made that particular change and when they made it. Okay. Next thing that we have touched on previous webinars, but just wanted to highlight again today, is the folder option within your project. This allows you to store or upload any supporting files or information that you have for this particular project. This means that it's all in one place. And again, if you are supporting this particular piece of work and you want to understand any guidance that they are following or any presentations that they've done as a result of this QI project, they will all be stored in the folder area once they've been uploaded. Any reports that are run through LifeQI on this project will also automatically store to the reporting area, to the folder area. So again, you can see how the projects are progressing by each report that has been run. And I'll show you how to run a report in just a second. I'm going to pause there and just see if there are any questions that have come through from the Q&A or the chat from Lewis.
Hi, Erica. No, we've got no questions that have come in yet.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Lewis. Just sticking with the project general page here, and just a couple of things as a bit of a reminder. So obviously one of the ones I can't stress enough is the IHO project progress score and making sure that that is up to date. You can also edit the details of the project. So when you are coming in, just make sure that the title is obviously a true reflection, the problem and the aim, but also one that sometimes people can forget about is updating their tags or just making sure that the project is aligned to the specific priorities that the project is working towards. Tags and priorities can be pulled through to your analytics dashboard. So again, if they're not tagged or they're not linked with the correct priority, the dashboards won't be a true reflection of that particular project and the areas that they are targeting. So just make sure when you do come into the projects that you are supporting or the projects that you are running, that they are tagged and linked accordingly to the specific areas of focus that they are working on. Great. So a couple of other things that I just wanted to show you as well. So that's an individual project itself, and just making sure that you are aware of some of the hints and tips of how to understand activity. One last thing before I jump off this page is the driver diagram and the history button on the driver diagram. So driver diagrams, by the nature of the tool that they are, will evolve over time through the life cycle of the quality improvement project. The history button on the driver diagram will allow you to understand how that driver diagram has evolved. Every time the driver diagram is edited and saved, it saves a record to the history here. So you can go way back to when the driver diagram was first created and understand how it has grown into the driver diagram that it is today. So again, if you are supporting and coaching teams, it allows you to understand how they have come to the change ideas that they are working on, how the secondary drivers evolved and how the primary drivers evolve, and how they ultimately are working towards the aim of the QI project. Okay, in terms of reporting on an individual project, you are able to run a series of default reports that we have available in the LifeQI system for you. If you haven't run any reports before, we'd really recommend you come in and take a look at what you have access to. And we do have some availability to be able to customize some of these reports as well. So if I wanted to run a report on this particular project here, so I'm on the project general page, all you do is click on actions, then reports, and you will pull through the list of reports that you have access to run. And this will differ for different people based on their permissions and the organizations that they are part of. By default, you will have access to an overview project report and a detailed project report in your Life QI system. I'm just going to run one of these to give you an idea of what they look like. Running these individual project reports are a great way to export some of the information from the system so that you don't have to replicate any of the information outside of Life QI. So this is the overview project report here, and this is a free text field. So I could come in and write today's date or amend the title of this particular report. And this one is pulling through the project general information, the driver diagram, my outcome measures of my particular project, and it enables me here to have some free text section to add in a status update or even my plan for the next period. So again, if you are working with people and supporting people in their work, you can encourage them to pull off reports from their project so that you can submit these if you're in your organisation, if you need to, or essentially have a record of the project and where you are within that particular project. An example of where these style of reports can be used is in one-to-one meetings with your line manager. It enables you to pull off that information of the work that you are doing if you are unable to log into the system within the meeting itself. So it's a great way to export the information off the platform. So do go in and have a look at some of the reports that you have access to. And again, it's a great way to get that information out and share those successes with your teams. So that is an individual project report. So that's run from the project general page. Supporting and coaching projects may mean that you have multiple projects and you want to understand how all of them are doing in one go. So I'm going to show you a few ways how to do that. First things first is I'm going to just navigate to my project list area here. So in terms of navigation, I'm in the projects area of the system, and you can see I now have a list of projects in front of me. Keep an eye on these filters on the right hand side. So I have filtered this, well, it will filter by default to my active projects I am running. So when you log in, it will filter to your active projects. If for any reason you need to add any more filters, and it could be that you just want to search for the projects that are happening within your department, you can then type in the name of your department here and pull through the list of that. So I want to run a multiple list report on my active projects. So I filtered the list accordingly. Come in, click on actions, and then reports, and then pick the report template that you want to use. Again, when you log into the system, you will see the list of report templates that you and your organisation have access to, and they will differ for different people. So what I'm going to do is, you can see now it's created this report for me. So I'm just going to run it off, click on create report, and then we'll be taken through to that report template. So this one is particularly helpful. It pulls off the title, the aim, the project progress score, the lead username, and the count of members on that particular project. Some other reports that you will have access to will pull off the number of SPC charts, number of PDSA cycles, and the last status update of that particular project. So it's a great way to bring together all of the project information into a list style report so that you can review accordingly. What you can also do with this list of project summaries is you have the ability to export that off the platform into an Excel file, or you can PDF that project list report as well. So as I say, it's a great way to come in and filter and then review the project list according to the group or the filter that you want to align that with. So it's a great way to review multiple projects and how they are progressing across your specific filtered list. The CSV is particularly helpful, so if you ever want to export that into Excel, you have the ability to do that. It's worth noting as well, any reports that you run, so project level reports, will store in the documentation area of your project, but any other reports will store in the report section here. So you've got an audit trail of all of the reports that you have run and created in the system. So check out your reports section if you want to refer back to any of the reports that you may have run previously. So that's filtering the project list. Another way to understand quality improvement activity across your group, your department, your organisation is the analytics area. So come into the analytics area, and what you will see is a list of the dashboards that you will have access to. By default, you will have a personal dashboard that will pull through all of your quality improvement projects and the metrics that support those. And you will also have access to your organisation default dashboard as well. These dashboards are particularly helpful because they are real time and they pull through the information each time you run it. So they are live dashboards of work. So I'm just going to jump into an organisational level one now. So this is one for our organisation, and it pulls through some very, very high level metrics, but it's really, really helpful to understand quality improvement activity across the whole organisation. So we can see here for Bay Health Organisation, we have 53 current active projects. How many of those 53 are showing improvement? How many of those are showing significant improvement? I love these. I think they're visual and they give you a great overview of the work that's happening. This one here, this chart here shows the cumulative active projects. Then we've got the project score split each month so that you can see how the projects are progressing each month across the organisation. You can also break down the project progress score by projects and the group that they are being run in. So within our particular organisation, we structure our organisation by groups. And for each of those groups, you can understand the quality improvement projects that are happening in those divisions and what score they are demonstrating. I can then understand new projects and how many have been created in the past 2 days or 5 days or 9 days, and the project started each month. So again, to support work across your organisation, these dashboards can be particularly powerful and deliver value for you to understand the quality improvement projects that you are running. To get down into the granular detail, I touched on it in this section here, but it's projects that are broken down by the group. Within the Life QI system, we encourage, if you are part of an organisation or a collaborative, that you use the group function. The groups function will allow you to structure your organisation. So an example where groups are used before is by departments or divisions or service lines or anything like that. You can structure your organisation to these particular elements so that you can align projects to the area that they are working on. That allows you to identify hot and cold spots of quality improvement, but also allows you to target your quality improvement successes and also understand those areas that may need a bit more support and guidance. Another example of where groups can be used in the platform is for your QI team or for a training cohort that you are running. That's a great example. So if you're running a new training cohort in a couple of weeks' time and you want to link projects to that training cohort, you can do exactly as like we've done here. So we've created a QI team group. We have the projects that are being run as part of that quality improvement group. And we also have a set of discussion threads here. So to create a new group, you just come into the groups area and then you're able to, go into your organisation, then create a new group, and you're able to do that. So you can see here, we've got 3 projects aligned to this group, and I have set out a few discussions here because this is where I think discussions can work quite well at a group level, is by highlighting different learning sets that you're running or different sessions that you are running. You can have a discussion thread for each learning set and the slide deck that supports those. So you're keeping everything all in one place. You can then build out the group membership. So if in our QI team at the moment it's Kerry and myself, but if we had 15 team members, you can invite everyone to be a member of this group. It allows you to have that single storage space for everything that's happening within this group, division, department. And you can also store any files that support this group as well. So as I say, a great way to use the groups is to structure your organisation. And we've got some more information about the Help Centre on that we can pop over in the chat for you. But also, as I say, for a training cohort, or for anyone that's got a particular interest, you can bring people together using this group function. You can support, you can guide, you can share experiences through your projects and really use that discussion element to have that social space, that narrative around the projects that you are running as well. A couple of other things I just wanted to refer back to is another dashboard. So we chatted through the organisational level dashboard here. If you do set your groups up within the platform and utilize these to understand how projects align to different divisions, departments, or training cohorts, we can then structure dashboards in line with that detail as well. So we've got the organizational level dashboard, and then we have the children's division dashboard here. So it just allows you to really target your support and understand the quality improvement work that's happening in this specific division. So if I was a quality improvement lead for my children's division here, I can just come into this dashboard, and again, real-time information. You can come in and really understand the activity of quality improvement within your particular division. Or again, it could be a training cohort. You can come in and understand, of the 20 projects that have been initiated as part of the training cohort, where are those 20 projects? Are there any that are maybe still scoring a 0.5 a few weeks on that maybe you could target your support and guidance to for those particular projects? So as I said, these dashboards are live, and every time you run them, they are pulling through the real-time information. So for this particular children's dashboard here, you can see we have 8 active projects and 3 completed. And then of those 8, kind of where they are on the RHI project progress score, the project progress scores over time, and a fantastic list here of all of the projects within that particular division. So I can just run this dashboard and understand all of the activity that's happening in the children's division. So we've got the title of each of the projects, the aim, the start date, the score, members, PDSA cycles, SBC charts, last status update text, and that was when we added to the timeline. That will then pull through to this report here, and the date that it was last updated as well. These sections are particularly helpful, especially if there's been an update that the project has paused due to some circumstances. That allows you to really understand the narrative of where that project is. Another really good point here is when you run these style of list reports or the dashboard, is you can start to understand if the activity at the project level, so the PDSA cycles that are being run and the data that is being collected, is the project progress score a true reflection of the actual activity that is happening within that project? So this is a great example here. This particular project you can see is scoring a 5, but it hasn't got any PDSA cycles and it hasn't got any SBC charts. So this would be a great kind of way to encourage communication with this particular project team and understand the score that they have given themselves when there's no activity. So it's a great conversation starter to be able to target your support and guidance to the particular project teams as well. Also on these dashboards, for those that don't know, they are interactive. So if you hover over any of the project counts and click on them, it will then take you through to a list of those eight active projects. So very, very simply, you can navigate directly straight through to those projects. And that's the same for any of the counts on the dashboard. So it could be that you are in your team huddle this morning around your children's division, and you want to understand this particular one project here that is technically marked as stalled. So this is the project that you want to offer some support or guidance to. Or could it be that this project now needs to be marked as cancelled or completed, or kind of reinvigorate that project with the project team and understand where they are within that particular project? So as I say, great way to understand what's happening and target your support to those that require it. For those that don't know how to support their teams in making sure that the status is a true reflection of the project, all you need to do is on the project general page, you can see the status section here. So this one's currently marked as active. If you click on edit, if you have edit permissions, you will be able to see the fields that are changeable. And one of them is, if you click in the drop down, you will see you have the ability to change the status of that particular project. So it could be that this project will not be progressing any further and you want to mark it as cancelled. Good practice would be to mark it as cancelled and then just add a status update to the timeline here to understand for others coming in why it's been marked as cancelled. Maybe what are the reasons for marking it as cancelled? And again, that will then pull through to the project list report. So it just allows you to have that narrative around anything. Okay, I'm going to jump back to my start page here. Okay. Any other questions so far, Lewis? I think I'm getting through it quite quickly.
Yes, you are. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we've got quite a few that have come
Okay.
into us. Okay, so we've got the first one here from Sandra. So the progress score, is it changed by the owner or calculated by LifeQI?
Okay, great question. So the RHI project progress score is a manual update for the project team to do. So it is down to the project team to keep that score up to date. Unfortunately, the platform won't do that automatically for you. But again, that's also great practice because it kind of encourages you to come in and make sure that your score is up to date and that it is a reflection of where you are. Just because you maybe add in data, it doesn't necessarily mean that the project is showing significant improvement. So it just allows you to come in and check the narrative of the score and make sure that the changes that you are making at the project level reflect that. Thank you for that.
Lovely, thank you. We've got a few more. So one from James. Is there any way to elongate the driver diagram? Some of my projects are very complex and involve a lot of secondary drivers.
Okay. Great question. So yes, I have seen some particularly large driver diagrams within the platform. So you can expand the driver diagram, James. I'm not sure if you've seen that feature here. So this driver diagram is fairly large. I have seen bigger. All you need to do is click on the expand button and it will pop it out slightly for you, but it probably may not be quite as big as you are looking for. So at the moment, that's the best way to get the driver diagram larger on the screen, but appreciate that it may not suit you because your driver diagram does sound particularly large. So apologies about that. So there will be a bit of scrolling up and down for you at the moment. We do have an update on the horizon that will restructure some of the driver diagram functionality. So watch this space on that. But at the moment, I'm sorry to say that your driver diagram does sound particularly large. So keep going, but it will be a bit of scrolling on your behalf.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Erica. And we've
Okay.
got another one here from Zoe. Are these reports saved as a PDF document?
Yes, so any reports that are run on your project, as I say, will store in the folder area of your QI work. If you want to PDF them, yes, you can do that. Let me just pull one off for you here. Actually, let me run one. So if I just run one again, just to show you how to run it, hopefully it's a bit of a refresher. When you have created the report, you will have the ability to PDF it off the platform. So I'll just show you that now. So create report. You'll then be taken through to the report page. And you can see here, if you click on actions again, you will see you have the option to PDF that and you can then export that off LifeQI. Thanks, Lewis.
Brilliant, thank you. So I think we just had a couple more that have just come in.
Yeah.
Can I backdate a project?
In terms of adding in a retrospective project, does that sound? Anyway, yes, you can. So absolutely. So when you create the project, you can essentially set the start date and the end date, and you can go back on the start date. So yes, you can absolutely add in projects that have happened previously and put them in. In fact, that's a great way to get familiar with LifeQI. If you have got a project that you have run previously, put it into LifeQI. It will take you through the RHI model for improvement. But yes, you can absolutely change the start date and the end date of your project.
Lovely. They're still coming. So
okay, that's fine.
What is the difference between discussions versus the groups function? I did pop an answer in there, but I guess it would be good to have your...
Yeah, no, that's great. So discussions to me is where you can obviously have that social space within the quality improvement project, or you can have, I should have said, you can have top level discussions as well. So on the navigation panel on the left-hand side, you can see you can start a discussion outside of a project. That's absolutely fine. Groups for me are where you can house projects of a specific kind of theme or focus, or if you're, as I say, part of a training cohort, it just allows you to group everything all in one place. So you have that ease of navigation and just allows you to view other people's work, support other people's work, and just have that social kind of network within the platform itself.
Cool, great. And one more for you, Erica. This one's a long one. So the reports on the PDF has a small field for status updates. Is there any way of expanding this? It makes the report long and I'm having to put it into a CSV, and this doesn't print well when I am doing a report of all the projects.
Okay, so I think I know what you mean on the project list when you pull it through. So Lewis, you're probably better to answer this than I am, actually. You're the guru on this. But I think in terms of that, it is set field at the moment, or we be good to know which report you're running, Vivian, just so we can double check the status text kind of length of the box so that we can see if we can make that a bit wider for you or put that on a kind of separate row. That might work, Lewis, for that report, mightn't it? The only problem is that to CSV the project list, it needs to be the structure of the port is a certain way. So we will just need to double check that in the background, and we can take that away and get back to you if you want us to, but we can do some investigation. Lewis, unless you know else otherwise.
No, there's nothing more to add to that, I'm afraid.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's sort of one of the constraints, isn't it, at the moment? So yeah. Okay, that's everything.
Perfect, thank you. Just to reflect back on the training guide here that we've gone through this afternoon or this morning, this is the Guru training section on the Help Centre. So would highly encourage you take a look at our training guides from the platform. They will break down everything into bite-sized chunks for you to come in and review at your leisure. We'd also have some fantastic kind of further links within the Help Centre as well that will take you through things in much more detail. Also, I wanted to highlight 2 new features that we have on the Help Centre as well. One of them being our improvement hub. So you can come in and it's got specific topic areas. So it will guide you through some great blog articles here about coaching, how to run a quality improvement project, how to engage staff in quality improvement, and much more around collaboratives and SPC. So do come in and have a look at this one. And we also have an improvement resources page as well that will give you some fantastic cheat sheets and ebooks and worksheets as well that you can use with your staff within the organisation or the collaborative. So please do come in and have a look at these. They are here to help you and guide you, but also we are here as well. We've got some more webinars coming up. We've got a fantastic help centre and also our live chat function and a fantastic support team to help you with any questions and queries that you may have. But I hope that was helpful. Where we have got a couple of minutes left, so I will just see if there's any more questions or queries, or I can stay on the line for a little bit longer if you want me to. But that was a really, really kind of an overview of some hints and tips on how to support and coach your colleagues and yourselves with running projects and quality improvement in Life QI, and I hope you found that helpful.
We just had a quick question come in right at the end there, Erica.
Okay.
I think I can answer this. It's from Sandra. If we run into similar issues like Vivian, we should connect with Lewis directly or Live QI. I mean, if you use the live chat function or you can fire us an email, you're more than likely going to speak to me or one of my lovely colleagues who can help you. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
We've got Trish Willock here. In terms of the groups, does that mean that everyone in the cohort can view each other's projects?
So it depends on how you set up the privacy, but essentially, yes. So that's about bringing people together. So if you do create a group, say for your training cohort, and you link the projects to the group, and you do that by adding the group as a member to the quality improvement project. So on the membership, you just simply add the group as a member, like you would invite a colleague to join a piece of work. It will list the projects here. Anyone that is listed on the membership of the group will then be able to view those group projects. So it's worth just bearing that in mind. So it all comes down to the membership. Okay, so worth having a think about that. But that is one of the fantastic things about the system, is it really does encourage that visibility and support and collaboration amongst quality improvement projects. And especially working as part of a cohort, it may be that you want to share ideas and understand how other teams are running their PDSAs, what data are they collecting, how have they structured their driver diagram. It really encourages that collaboration within teams.
Lovely.
Sorry, a couple of other ones. I can just show you how to jump into the resources section. Let me just go back to the website. Apologies for all the clicking around. So this was to Claire. So Claire, to navigate to the improvement resources section, all you need to do is come to our website here, click on resources, and you will see this how to section here, which has dedicated area for the improvement hub and the improvement resources. But also don't forget about these resources here. So the blog section, webinars where we will update you with all the webinars that we have upcoming, and our fantastic help center as well. Hannah, what we'll do is we will take that offline. We'll check your account out for you and get back to you if that's okay. So watch this space on that. You're welcome. Anything else? Any other questions, queries, or anything that you would like me to go back over? Trish, yes, within groups you can upload documents. So if I just jump back to my group here, in the folder area on the right hand side, you've got this section here where you can upload files or you can store them in folders. So that's all there for you. So that's why to me the group is a great area to be able to bring the different resources together, discussion threads together, and all of those projects together as well. Okay. Sandra, the recording will be sent out to the attendees that registered for this webinar. So you will get a copy of the recording in due course. So you'll be able to watch back. Great.
Oh, lovely.
Thanks everyone for your feedback. That's really good.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, everyone.
Great. If everyone's happy, we will close the webinar, but thank you very much for your time and we look forward to seeing you on the next one soon. Thank you also to Kerry and Lewis for supporting me with this one. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Anytime, Lewis.
Thank you very much.
Bye everyone. Take
Thank
care.
you all. Take care.